Welcome back to Live at the Lab, where we cut through the noise and bring you the science that matters the most. I'm Liz, and today we're diving into Metabolic Health 101, the foundation of well being. Here's the shocking part: more than 90% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy, and most don't even know it. So, what does metabolic health actually mean, and why should you care? To help us unpack it, I'm here with Chris Coleman, our senior principal scientist. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. Before we begin, I just wanted to know how long you have been with the company and what your background looks like.
Thanks, Liz. It's great to be here. Yeah, I've been with the company a little over 18 years. I'm a registered dietitian by training. I have background in clinical research, clinical dietetics, and nutrition in general.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. So, my first question: I've been seeing the term metabolic health a lot on social media recently. What exactly does it mean?
It's a great question. And metabolic health is more than just your metabolism or how fast your body burns calories or how many calories your body burns in the day. Metabolic health is how efficiently your body performs processes that keep you alive and well. You can think of it as your body's command center, working behind the scenes to turn food into fuel, balance energy, and keep everything running smoothly.
That's interesting because when I heard metabolic health, I just assumed metabolism, and it's very clear and evident that it's much more than that. So, that's great to know.
Exactly. And as for a definition of metabolic health, it's a systematic functioning of the body's metabolic and biochemical processes to support optimal physiological function and balance. And when your metabolic health is on track, your body has the flexibility and resilience to respond to everyday life's demands. Like a well-tuned orchestra, every part is playing its piece. So when your metabolic health is in a good place, you feel it. Good metabolic health means your body is running efficiently, which shows up in everyday life. And you have steadier energy, better focus, fewer crashes, and you recover better from everyday stressors. It also helps you maintain progress you've worked hard to achieve, like weight loss or healthy habits. In short, when your body's in sync, you function better, you feel better, and you show up better in daily life. And you can think of it as an analogy of a well-maintained car, right? There's better gas mileage, it runs smoother, there's fewer breakdowns. With your body, it doesn't have to keep up as doesn't have to work as hard to keep up. And then that can pay off now and in the long run.
My next question: if our bodies are designed to run smoothly, why are so many of us out of sync? And what are the main disruptors? Is it just diet and exercise, or is it a bigger picture than that? Is there more to it?
Yeah, diet and exercise are often the first things people think of and are obviously very important. But
Yeah.
metabolic health is influenced by much more. You think of things like sleep, stress, hydration, daily movement, even your surroundings, and then how consistent you are with those habits all play a role. And the reality is, modern life doesn't always support those healthy patterns. Think of things like too much stress, not enough sleep, constant screen time, packed schedules. They all, individually, they might seem like, small things, but when you put all those things together, they can push your body out of sync. And that's why metabolic health isn't just about one thing. It's about how all these systems and habits play together and how well your body can stay balanced in a world that often pulls it off track.
So it sounds like all of those different components play a major role, and they all need to kind of be in sync to make your metabolic health strong and healthy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing. It's not just diet. It's not just
Yeah.
exercise. It's all the daily habits and daily behaviors you can think of all impact your metabolic health.
Yeah. So maybe just, having a good diet isn't just enough. You need to do all of those different things, and then your metabolic health can go up and increase.
Absolutely. Yeah. Healthy diet is obviously important. But yes, doing the other behaviors, other habits um, consistently from day to day are also going to absolutely impact your health overall.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Thank you. So, following up with that, if someone wants to improve their metabolic health, where should they start? Diet, exercise, something else? How do they begin?
Wow, that's a tough question because honestly, it's going to be different for everyone. It really comes down to what you're ready to change.
Yeah.
And once that change becomes a habit, that's when you stack the next one. As a general rule of thumb, start with consistency. Pick one habit. Think of things like just eating a regular meal, adding a short walk after dinner, or just getting to bed 30 minutes earlier and stick with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously, you think of progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
But the key is creating a stable rhythm your body can rely on.
Yeah.
And metabolic health thrives on routine. When your body knows what to expect, like when you're going to eat, when you're going to move and rest, it starts to function more smoothly behind the scenes. And that's really the power of the habits of health transformational system.
Yeah.
It's not about quick fixes. It's about learning those sustainable behaviors one step at a time so your body has the support it needs to stay balanced and in sync.
That makes total sense. I think starting with one step at a time, as you said, makes it much easier. You accomplish one thing and then the other one becomes easier and so on. And then before you know it, you're living the lifestyle you might have wanted to in the past. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
That one behavior or that one habit that you can try to get going. Um, you know, it's easier to focus on that one thing.
Yeah.
And if you try to think about every possible thing you could change, you get overwhelmed and you might get stuck and you might not move forward. So really, yeah, focus on a single habit and
Yeah.
then stack the next one and you get that first one down.
Yeah, it's almost like marathon training. You obviously don't start by running the full marathon. You start in increments. You start with maybe 1 mile or 2, and then you build up, and each time it gets easier.
Yeah, that's a great example.
Yeah,
Perfect example.
awesome. Okay, so going back to that, what is the first habit that really moves the needle when it comes to your metabolic health?
Yeah, again, it's really, whatever you're ready to change. That's going to really, be the thing that starts. But as an example, if you're interested in losing weight, quality weight loss is one thing that's going to impact your metabolic health.
So what does quality weight loss actually mean?
Yeah. So as a registered dietitian, that's one of the most important concepts I try to get across because it has so many implications for long-term success as well as long-term health. And that's because not all weight loss is created equal.
Yeah.
Quality weight loss means losing the right kind of weight, primarily fat while retaining your lean mass, which includes your muscle. And that's why quality weight loss isn't just about the number on the scale. It's about what you're losing, ideally fat, as well as what you're keeping, which would be the lean mass. And the goal isn't just weight loss, it's about healthy body composition that supports long term metabolic health.
So earlier you mentioned protecting your lean mass during quality weight loss. Why is that so important?
Because lean mass plays a key role in how your body functions during weight loss and beyond. And why does that matter? It's because lean mass, which again includes your muscle, supports your metabolism, your strength, mobility, and energy. And when you lose lean mass, your body burns fewer calories at rest and it's harder to maintain weight long term. So protecting lean mass is really about setting yourself up for sustainable success. It's not just about losing weight, but keeping it off and helping you feel your best. The reason lean mass is so important is because it's your body's engine. It drives how efficiently you burn calories, um, how efficiently you move, and how well you function from day to day. Preserving lean mass means keeping your engine strong so you can continue to burn calories, stay active, and maintain weight loss over time. And that's what makes quality weight loss so important. It's not just about the number on the scale, it's about keeping your body strong and resilient.
Yeah, there's so many different components to weight loss, I feel like. The number might not move as much as you'd want to at first, but there's so many other parts of your body that are improving and in the right place, and that's what's really important, correct?
Absolutely. Yep. Just because the scale isn't moving doesn't mean you're not progressing or moving forward.
Yeah.
But again, that focus on quality weight loss, again, so you're losing primarily fat, over time.
Mhm.
That's the important thing.
Yeah. Okay, my next question. I need you to clear something up that myself and many others tend to be confused on. There are different types of fat, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are they all the same, or is one more concerning than the other?
No, not all body fat is the same.
Okay.
And where it's stored makes a big difference. There's the fat that's just under your skin, you could say around your arms or your hips or your belly. That's called subcutaneous fat.
Okay.
That is where your body stores energy.
Mhm.
It helps cushion your body. You can think of it as the fat you can pinch.
Yeah.
And while it may affect how we look, it's usually not the type of fat that we worry most about.
Okay.
But the fat we do worry about, or we're most concerned about, is called visceral fat, and that's the fat that's deep in your abdomen and stored around your internal organs.
Oh, okay.
The reason being, visceral fat is metabolically active, meaning it just doesn't sit there. It releases substances that can disrupt your body's normal functions, and it's also inflammatory, meaning it sends signals out to your body that keeps it in a low grade state of stress. And over time, that stress can interfere with how efficiently your body burns fuel, regulates energy, and stays in balance. So when we talk about improving metabolic health, it's not just about how much fat you lose, it's about what kind and where as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had no idea about visceral fat, but that's great to know that that is the one you need to be looking out for and the most crucial.
Absolutely. When you lose weight, you obviously want to lose fat.
Yeah.
You're going to lose some subcutaneous fat, but
Yeah.
the fat you really want to lose is that visceral fat.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So, when it comes to nutrition, how do structured, science backed approaches differ from just eating healthier?
Yeah, eating healthier sounds simple, obviously, but in
Yeah.
real life, it can get messy, right? What does healthy even mean? If you ask three different people, you're going to get three different answers.
Hmm.
And how much is too much? What does moderation mean? What happens when life gets busy? All
Yeah.
those things impact your daily food intake and what you do from day to day.
Yeah.
And that's where a structured, science-backed approach makes a difference. You can take the 5-in-1 plan, for example.
Yeah.
It gives you a very structured, simple outline to follow. 5 fuelings and 1 lean and green meal. The fuelings are portion controlled. They're fortified with essential nutrients and fiber, and they have high quality protein. And the lean and green meal is consists of lean quality protein as well as non-starchy vegetables. So it's not just about calories; it's about nutrition, quality, as well as consistency. And that structure helps your body stay fueled. It supports fat loss while preserving lean mass, that we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
and it reinforces healthy habits you can build on. So, in other words, that structure takes the guesswork out of eating better,
Hmm.
and it turns into something your body can rely on from day to day.
Yeah. Not to mention the fuelings are so on the go friendly. I know so many of us go to work, getting the kids to school, we're all super busy. So just being able to grab and go, and then depending on when you want to eat your lean and green meal, you can do that with your schedule. So it takes the guesswork out of it. And instead of, going to fast food when you need something quick, you have your bar and it's backed by science and exactly what your body needs.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
the fuelings are super convenient, super flexible. The lean and green meal, again, as you said, provides additional nutrition that your body needs,
Yeah.
but you can have that when it fits your schedule as well. So while there's structure, there's still some flexibility where you can make it work for you from day to day.
Yeah, definitely. It's great that the s'mores bar tastes so good and it's so quick and just something that I know is good for my body.
Yep, I'm a big fan of the s'mores bar.
Yeah,
My favorite is the cookie dough bar,
that
but
one's great.
yeah,
Yeah. The brownie's also very good.
of course, yeah,
Yep.
brownie's a big favorite.
Yeah.
Everybody's one of everybody's
I've
favorites.
heard that too. Okay, so circling back to visceral fat, which we touched on earlier, we have seen data showing up to 14% reduction in visceral fat and 98% lean mass retention in the 5-in-1 plan. Why are those numbers so meaningful for long term health?
Yeah, those numbers tell a powerful story about quality weight loss, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Those numbers highlight the difference between just losing weight and losing weight in a way that supports your long term health. In our clinical study, participants on the 5-in-1 plan lost primarily fat and they retained 98% of that lean mass. And that matters because lean mass, as we talked about earlier,
Hmm.
includes muscle. And so it plays a key role in your metabolism, your energy, mobility, and your ability to maintain weight loss over time. They also experience a 14% reduction in visceral fat, which again is the deeper fat that surrounds your internal organs. And
Right.
that's again the fat that's more inflammatory and more metabolically active. So reducing it has meaningful impacts for your metabolic health. So put simply, these results further reflect a quality weight loss, helping your body work better, not just weigh less.
Yeah. That's incredible that the 5-in-1 plan is able to do that. So thank you for sharing. Okay, so we touched on movement a bit earlier. How much daily movement or activity is enough to make an impact on your metabolic health?
That's a great question. Yeah, the biggest point I would make here is that any movement is better than no movement.
Yeah.
So even a 10-minute walk after meals, stretching in between meetings is going to have a positive impact over time. The key is to start where you are and build from there. Over time, you can work toward recommended activity levels, but don't let that stop you from starting. You don't need to hit the gym to start seeing benefits. Just start moving. The point with movement in particular is progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
And in the Habits of Health transformational system, we talk about motion as something you build over time. Start with small, consistent actions and stack from there. So walk the dog, take the stairs, park further away at the grocery store.
Yeah.
What really matters is movement and doing it consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I decided to start implementing, getting my steps in more. So after dinner, I try to do a walk around my neighborhood. I'll park further away at the grocery store, and anytime it's either steps or elevator, I try to pick steps. So, and I have noticed a difference from doing that. So,
Absolutely. All those things are important.
yeah.
Structured exercise is obviously beneficial as well. But what you're talking about is something we're starting to understand even better.
Yeah.
And it's not just again structured exercise. It's really about being less sedentary throughout the day.
Hmm.
And these everyday movements, what you talked about, called non-exercise activity thermogenesis or NEAT,
Yeah.
includes things like the walking, taking the stairs, even cleaning, um, or walking while you're taking a phone call. They may seem small, but they add up over time
Yeah.
and keep your metabolism engaged and your body in sync.
Yeah. And like you said, we start somewhere and start small. So you do one a day of something you wouldn't normally do, like you stand up while you're on a call. Each time it gets easier and you build up that, and then you can just increase your movement from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, those small little things, you're gonna get used to it, and then that's a milestone.
Yeah.
You'll be excited to continue to do more. So, absolutely, those small little steps are very important.
Okay, so going back to some of the habits. So, sleep and stress tend to be the main habits that people sometimes ignore, myself included. Can improving those habits really shift someone's metabolic health in a measurable way?
Yeah, absolutely. Sleep and stress might not get as much attention as diet and
Yeah.
exercise, but they're just as important. Poor sleep, chronic stress can throw your body out of sync, making it
Hmm.
harder to manage energy, manage your hunger, and even manage your mood. So, in the Habits of Health transformational system, sleep and stress management are core components.
Yeah.
They're not just afterthoughts. So, when you sleep better, if you're stressed out less, your body can recover, you can reset and function the way it's supposed to. You can think of it as giving your body the downtime it needs to run efficiently the rest of the time.
Yeah. That makes sense. Because I know for myself, when I don't get enough sleep, my whole entire day is thrown off. My day, my eating, everything. So I really try to prioritize it as best as I can, but I do understand life gets busy. So it is something, that people tend to ignore. So we should really emphasize the importance of sleep and stress.
Absolutely. Sleep
Yeah.
is extremely important.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Losing some sleep, you're gonna, as you said, impacts the next day. Not only are you more tired, obviously, but again, it impacts what you eat and how you eat
Yeah.
and your hunger levels as well. So there are a lot of health impacts to sleep.
Yeah. Definitely. But it does go back to the 5-in-1 plan because if you're short on sleep, you want something quick and we have that. So I think that is definitely helpful and something amazing about the 5-in-1 plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you know, in those examples where you may have had not the ideal sleep the night before, if you're on the 5-in-1 plan, you know what you're having the next day,
Right.
right? That next day is already set for you. So
Exactly.
that guesswork and what you might normally not eat or you might normally choose, just to grab something out of the cupboard, you don't do that. You
Yeah.
just grab the fuelings and go from there.
Yeah. It's a great point. Okay. So to wrap things up, if there's one key takeaway you want people to remember about metabolic health, what would it be?
Well, I think the one big thing is metabolic health is something we don't talk about enough, but
Yeah.
it matters a lot. Again, as we said in the beginning, more than 90% of adults show signs of metabolic dysfunction, and most don't even realize it. The good news, it's not about perfection, it's about progress,
Yeah.
building those small, consistent habits to bring your body back into sync. But I'll bring back two important points. The first point is quality weight loss. It's not just about losing weight, it's about losing the right kind of weight. That means losing fat while holding on to lean mass, which helps support your metabolism, your energy, and long-term success. The second point is that metabolic health is bigger than just diet and exercise, as we talked about. Sleep, stress, hydration, daily movement, your habits, they all work together, and even small changes can make a big impact. So it all adds up, and your metabolic health will thank you for it.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much. I learned a lot that I think myself and a lot of others didn't know. I thought metabolic health was just your metabolism, and it's clearly much more than that. And with fat, I just assumed all types were the same. And now I realize that is not the case at all. And visceral fat is what we should really be looking at in terms of quality weight loss.
Absolutely. Well, it was great to be here, and I was happy to answer the questions.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I think you really explained a lot to me, and I think I will take all of this information and I will relay it in my own life because it's really important and something a lot of us don't know about.
That's great.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Thank you.